Welcome back to the Kyle Black Collection podcast. I'm your host, Brad, coming to you today from a studio that's buzzing with excitement as we gear up for the next phase of the expedition. In our first episode, we started big, talking about the foundational concepts of classical, modern, and contemporary art. Then, in episode 2, we had the incredible opportunity to sit down with Kyle Black himself, the visionary behind the Kyle Black Collection, diving deep into his inspiration and the unique mission of those carbon fiber-bound novels. Last time, in episode 3, we explored the fascinating world of cultural separation in art, specifically how different societies use lines and shapes to tell their unique stories. Today, we're going to put it all together. We're going on a grand tour, a sweeping journey through the timeline of art. This isn't just about dates and names, it's about understanding the continuous, ever-evolving story of human creativity. It's about seeing how one era builds upon or reacts to the last, how societal shifts echo in visual forms, and ultimately, how all of this leads us to the incredible contemporary art that the Kyle Black Collection is dedicated to preserving. So, buckle up, because we're going way, way back. Let's begin at the very dawn of human expression, prehistoric art. We're talking tens of thousands of years ago, around 40,000 BCE to about 2000 BCE. Imagine our ancient ancestors, deep in the darkness of caves like Lascaux or Altamira, illuminating the walls with incredible depictions of bison, horses, and deer using natural pigments. Or consider the Venus figurines, small, curvaceous sculptures. What was the purpose? We believe it was ritual, survival, magic, storytelling, perhaps even teaching. These weren't just pretty pictures, they were vital expressions of human connection to their world, their spirituality, and their very existence. It shows us that the urge to create, to leave a mark, is fundamentally human. Moving forward, we enter the era of ancient art, roughly from 3000 BCE to 500 CE. This is when civilizations began to flourish. Think of the monumental scale of Egyptian art, the pyramids, the intricate tomb paintings, the Stoic sculptures and hieroglyphs designed for eternity and the afterlife. In Mesopotamia, we see the rise of ziggurats and cuneiform. Then, in Greece, art evolved into an idealized pursuit of human form, proportion, and harmony, giving us the classical orders of architecture and perfect sculptures. The Romans, practical and empire building, took Greek ideals and applied them to realism, portraiture, and impressive engineering like aqueducts and colosseums. Art here was about religion, power, order, and the glorification of rulers and empires. It established many of the formal conventions that would influence Western art for centuries. As empires crumbled and new spiritual frameworks emerged, we transitioned into medieval art, from around 500 CE to 1400 CE. This period was largely dominated by Christianity in Europe, leading to art focused on religious devotion and didactic purposes for a largely illiterate population. We see the stunning mosaics and icons of Byzantine art, the sturdy, often dark churches of the Romanesque period with their frescoes, and then the soaring, light-filled Gothic cathedrals with their intricate stained glass and sculptures that pointed heavenward. Symbolism was key. Every detail conveyed a religious narrative or moral lesson. It was a time when faith was the primary patron and inspiration. Then came the Renaissance, from roughly 1400 CE to 1600 CE, a rebirth of classical ideals after the perceived darkness of the Middle Ages. This was a true explosion of humanism, a renewed focus on human potential and achievement. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Botticelli brought back principles of perspective, anatomy, and realism, elevating the artist to the status of a genius. Art became more about scientific observation and human experience, even within religious contexts. It celebrated the individual and laid down the foundational understanding of visual representation that would define art for centuries. Following the Renaissance, we had the dramatic flair of Baroque art, circa 1600 to 1750 CE, characterized by grandeur, emotion, movement, and intense contrasts of light and shadow, known as chiaroscuro. Think of the swirling action of Caravaggio's paintings or Bernini's sculptures designed to awe and inspire. This was often the art of the Counter-Reformation, aiming to draw viewers into an emotional religious experience. Contrast that with the lighter, more elegant, and often frivolous Rococo art of the mid-18th century, with its pastel colors and playful themes of aristocratic pleasure. These styles were powerful tools for conveying emotion and status. The late 18th and early 19th centuries saw a swing towards neoclassicism, circa 1750 to 1850 CE, a return to the purity, order, and civic virtue of classical Greece and Rome, often as a response to the excesses of Rococo and the political turmoil of the French Revolution. Jacques-Louis David's powerful historical paintings are prime examples. Almost immediately, a counter-movement emerged: Romanticism. This era celebrated emotion, individualism, the sublime power of nature, the exotic, and the imagination over cold reason. Artists like Delacroix, Goya, and Turner explored intense feelings, dramatic narratives, and the awe-inspiring forces of the natural world. This era really set the stage for the intense individualism that would define art moving forward. And that brings us, once again, to modern art, from the mid-19th century through the mid-20th century. This is where artists truly began to break radically from tradition. We saw Impressionism, capturing fleeting moments of light; Post-Impressionism, infusing personal emotion; Fauvism, with wild color; Cubism, fracturing reality; Expressionism, raw emotion; Surrealism, the subconscious; and Abstract Expressionism, pure gestural abstraction. Modern art was all about challenging established norms, experimenting with form, color, and technique, and prioritizing subjective experience over objective reality. Finally, we arrive at contemporary art, from the 1970s to today. As we've discussed, this era is characterized by an incredible diversity of styles, media, and concepts. There's no single dominant ism. Artists blur boundaries between painting, sculpture, video, performance, and digital art. Contemporary art often engages with pressing social, political, and cultural issues, reflecting our complex globalized world. It's art as inquiry, as commentary, as a constantly evolving conversation. So, why this sweeping timeline? Because the Kyle Black Collection is dedicated to preserving the very best of contemporary art for future generations. Just as we look back at a cave painting and see a window into our ancestors' minds, future civilizations will look at the carbon fiber novels in the Kyle Black Collection and see a direct, physical testament to the creativity, struggles, and innovations of our time. We're not just collecting art, we're writing the next chapters of this incredible, continuous human story. The expedition is about being there for that story, documenting its creation, and ensuring its endurance on the vast, unfolding timeline of human artistic expression. In upcoming episodes, we'll delve into specific artworks from the Kyle Black Collection, introduce you to the visionary artists creating them, and take you behind the scenes of our global journey as we add new, invaluable pieces to this unparalleled archive. Thank you so much for joining me on episode 4 of the Kyle Black Collection podcast. I'm Brad, and it's been an absolute privilege to explore the vast, beautiful landscape of art history with you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave us a review, and definitely head over to the Kyle Black Expedition YouTube channel to see the visual documentary of this astounding project unfold. Until next time, keep your eyes open for the art that makes history. We'll talk soon.